Golly, that's good. I cracked myself up. I still haven't found my first Blanton's. That's different. I really like that. They're like together, like peas and carrots. That's funny. Sometimes accidents are good things. Peychauds or Peychauds or Peychaud. This is not what I expected. How's it going, everybody? It is Thursday, and we're a little bit late. Today is my father's birthday. He would have been 88 years old today. So we always go out to Red Lobster, and the day just kind of got away from me. We were going to go to the Lob a little bit earlier than we did, and we didn't make it. And then it ended up taking a little bit longer than I thought. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give myself a little bit of grace and see what I can do about letting my family enjoy this meal and not be in a big old rush. All right? So tonight, of course, being Dad's birthday, something that we do every year for Dad's birthday is we drink his whiskey. So this is Echo Spring. We've done this, I think, is the 4th year that we did this, maybe the 3rd. I think the 4th. It's got to be the 3rd. We've only done this 3 years, right? I think that's right. Anyway, so doing myself a favor and not having a lot of it. Gotta say hi to Dad. It's his birthday, and we just gotta take care of business here. All right, that's gonna be plenty. Gotta save some more for next year. This bottle has got to be 30 years old. I mean, shoot, maybe more. I mean, I've lived in this town 1997, and this had been around for a while since then, so that's coming up on 30 years that I've lived here. So yeah, this is probably, I bet this bottle might even be closer to 40 years old. Still got the price tag on it. $18 for a dog. 18 bucks. Dog being a 1.75 milliliter. When you look at the codes on liquor in Ohio, there's B for boy. That would be your 750 milliliter. Then of course L for liter. It's a liter. And then dog is 1.75 or half gallon, 1.75 milliliter. All right, so let's get this out of the way because I never look forward to this part. I really don't. I can't monitor what's going on online right now. I've got my phone ready to do this one, which we'll get into in just a minute here. But let's get this out of the way. This is still better than this and this. This is the H. Derringer that we had last week, that the Derringer goes in the top, which just looks stupid. I don't mean to be a punk about it, but it looks stupid. So, but I will tell you that it is not a good pour. This is the Caribou Crossing. It is not a good pour. The Echo Spring is better than both of these. It seems like every time I do the Echo Spring, it gets a little bit more drinkable than it was the year before. So I'm a little bit surprised by this one because I never liked it. And this year I actually kind of like it. Thin mouthfeel, but not terribly thin. Not good stuff, not good at all, but better than those two, and not horrible. What's happening? I think I've just had some other bad pours, and then by comparison, it makes this look good. All right. All right, so my first complaint about this one. This is Fighting Cock. My first complaint is that when I was trying to get it opened, the foil on top broke, So now I have to use my bat knife to get it open, and this is a very, very sharp knife. Get my hand out of the way because I can just see. There we go. Much better. All right, so this is Fighting Cock. Here's what I know about it. Not a lot. Fighting Cock Distilling Company. The distillery is Heaven Hill, so maybe that's a good thing. I like Heaven Hill juice. Let's see. It is 103 proof. Is it really? By gummy, it is. 103 proof. Mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley. So this is a lower rye, higher corn. We can expect this to be sweet. Fighting Cock is one of several Heaven Hill brands that falls in the $20 and under range. Fighting Cock was released as a direct competitor to Wild Turkey 101 Bourbon. Heaven Hill likes to do things better and cheaper than the competitors, which is why Fighting Cock has the name that it does. Comes at 103 proof, which is 2 proof points higher than Wild Turkey 101. Formerly carried a 6-year-old age statement, however, that was removed in 2015, and now it's a non-age statement variant. Based on its labeling, the law requires the youngest bourbon in the bottle to be at least 4 years old. However, Heaven Hill has stated they continue to include older whiskey in the blend. Fun fact, Heaven Hill also refers to this brand as the Kickin' Chicken. All right, Kickin' Chicken. That's a nice way to put it. We, of course, were making jokes about it, as you might expect us to do because of the name of it. And, you know, it's all about taking photos, and I had to take my picture of this because that's what beautiful bourbon is all about, right? It's the photo. So now take this what you will. We thought it looked a little erotic from a point of view. And then we started making the jokes. I would ask my daughter, hey, do you want to see a picture of my... Yeah, it didn't go over very well with her. She didn't find it very funny. I find it funny. And if I find it funny, it's funny. All right. All right, let's... Oh, it's a screw cap. So, again, if you're just joining us for the first time, maybe, you're in the middle of an experiment called Bourbons We Expect to Be Icky. You know, these are supposed to be the bad pours. I'm expecting them to be bad pours. This one I've not heard great things about, but that review I just read from Breaking Bourbon kind of gives me a little bit of hope. And the fact that the young lady, very, very attractive young lady, who introduced me to this bottle, she said it was good, and I don't want her to be a Fibber McGee, so Google Fibber McGee. You'll know what I'm talking about. I personally never saw Fibber McGee and Molly, but my parents would use that reference a lot because Fibber McGee and... Okay. All right, so this is the chicken cack. No, Fighting Cack. You gotta be brave to name your bourbon. I mean, they got the chicken cock and the chicken cock bourbon and rye, and that one was big in Harlem. That was a huge one in Harlem at the Cotton Club. You know, and it's good. I like the rye better than the bourbon, but it's good. So, all right. I'm expecting not a lot, but the proof point on this has me interested. So let's see if Fighting Cock is worth the $20 I spent on it. Here we go. Okay, decent nose. This is Heaven Hill. So, you know, now last week's, that was MGP, and you'd expect MGP to be good. It wasn't. That was the H. Derringer? No. Okay. Yeah, the nose on this is real nice. It's got a sweetness to it. I would tell you that I'm getting a creme brulee, so that vanilla is nice and strong. A little bit of cinnamon, maybe a little brown sugar. I got Red Lobster in my mouth still. My dad's meal was the Admiral Feast. He liked the Admiral's Feast. So I ordered that because it was under $30. I feel like I ate a train. I just... I'm full. All right. Yeah, the cinnamon note on this is really nice. It's got a dark caramel. Caramel, if you have a degree. There's a little bit of raisin in there, just a very slight fruit note. There's not even a lot of astringency. I'm not getting a lot of that alcohol, that ethanol type of stink. I'm not getting that. This may be surprising. I'm expecting it to be horrid, but right now I might even be impressed by this. Let's find out. Very nice bloom. Very nice bloom. Didn't move, though. So bloom may not be a very good term in this case. It kind of coated the tongue and sat there instead of moving around like it sometimes does. Like it starts in the center and blooms its way out. The burn on this one just kind of, pardon me, I'm spitifying. The bloom there just kind of sit on the end of my tongue and just didn't move. I don't mind that. It did grow in intensity as it sat there. So I like the bloom on it. And I'm not offended by the flavor either, to be honest with you. It's actually, we'll get into that. We'll get into the notes. I don't think they sell this in Ohio. I think this is an out-of-state buy only. So, okay. Okay, here we go. Second time around, the bloom is noticeably lower. I don't have the burn that I had that first time. Spencer's watching. Hey, Spencer. Welcome to the show. Glad you're watching. Thank you. So again, the first hit, the bloom, it was noticeable. This one, the second hit, that alcohol burn was a lot more sedate. That doesn't bother me. For people that don't like that burn, it's going to be more drinkable after that first shot. That's nice. I don't mind that at all. Flavors on it are actually not bad. It's got a nice oak component. I'm not getting the sweetness on the palate that I got on the nose. That creme brulee sweetness isn't there on the palate. It's more earthy, not a lot. It's got all the bourbon notes that you would want: the cinnamons, the caramels, the vanillas, all that's there. What I sometimes call low-end whiskeys. This would be your Old Granddad. This would be your Evan Williams 80 proof. This might even be what used to be the Ezra Brooks 90 proof. I sometimes call those, I know a lot of people call them well whiskeys. I kind of call them utility whiskeys. They serve a purpose in the time that you need them. They're like a utility for me. So I call them utility whiskeys. This is better than a utility whiskey. Now, is it outstanding? No, it's a $20 bottle of whiskey. But is it good? Yes. The proof point on this makes it better. If this were an 80 or 90 proof pour, I would tell you that we got some problems. But for a good utility whiskey that you're wanting to mix with, that you're wanting to mix with something like an old fashioned, Sazerac, whatever drink you want to make with a good bourbon that's got some heat to it, this will do. It reminds me a lot of Old Granddad, to be truthful. Old Granddad is 100 proof, the bonded. is 100 proof. It's got decent flavor for what it is. You know, it's not an expensive bottle at all. And this goes right along with that, and it's not an expensive bottle, and it's decent whiskey. I expected this to be disgusting, but I didn't look at the proof point until just as we got started, and you know, it's up there. It's a good one. So this is actually a tasty bottle. I'm pleasantly surprised. I expected the worst, and I got not the worst. And it's better than the Echo Springs, too. Or Echo Spring. Sorry, there's no S on the end. Echo Spring. So, my dad was not well known for buying good booze. He bought bottom-end scotch, bottom-end whiskey, bottom-end gin, bottom-end vodka. He was a beer guy, he was a wine guy, but if he was going to drink spirits, it was going to be vodka. He liked vodka. And he'd buy, like, Gilby's vodka and... what's that other one? I can't think of what the other one's called. The low end. Anyway, he'd buy that stuff. It's a utility alcohol, right? And that's what he would buy. So the Echo Spring that he got, you know, I could call that a utility whiskey too, but this doesn't fit in that echelon. This is better. This is actually pretty good. So as not to waste your time, I want to try to do this in a half hour or less. Let's go ahead and get into the water test, see how it holds up. Sploosh! That came out like a fire hose. I was serious about that one. Get it all mixed in here, get that water in there, see what happens. Water can open it up, can release some flavors that you didn't get when it was neat. And this is a neck pour, right? This is a fresh crack, so it didn't have time to breathe. Adding a little water can give it the simulation of having a little breathing room. That ought to be good. Let's try it. There's still a lot of good in this. The water didn't help it any. Could it hold up in a cocktail? Yeah. That's what I look for when I do the water trick. I look to see if it opens up. I like to see if anything changes in it. This one, not much changed in it, except for it just got a little less illustrious. That's a word you can use for bourbon, illustrious. Just didn't do much for it. But if you're looking for a utility whiskey that'll stand up in your Manhattans, this will do it for 20 bucks. All right. Really not bad. All right. Hey, Dawn's watching. How are you, Dawn? Glad you could take some time away from the homework. Dawn is this close to finishing her degree. Which, good on you. Good on you. All right. Just a little bit. Put the lid on here. I'm curious as to what this would be like in a month. I like it. I like the fresh crack. You can make some jokes on the word, on the name of this thing with a fresh crack. I like the fresh crack of cat. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. That would be beneath me. That's below me. I can't do that. Below me. Below me. Sorry. We don't do that here. We don't do that here. We do finger stir, though. Took a break from homework. Well, that's good. She'd been working like crazy on getting this degree finished up, to the point that she misses all the fun stuff. There's local bands going out and playing, and there's stuff happening, and she's at home hitting those books. Okay. I don't do that. But then again, I'm a terrible student, so that's the way it is. It just is what it is. I have never liked school. I've never been good at school. All right. gorgeous ice sphere with fighting cack. My daughter says, could you please stop saying that in the way that you're saying it? Sure. I shall talk about my whiskey, the fighting cock. Maybe that'll be better. I don't think that'll be any better. There's just no good way. You could do it with an accent. Would you like a taste of my coke? I have to stop. I'm sorry. I have to stop. Soon you'll be done. Yeah, I know. You're going to be done with that degree soon. And, well, you're going to think you're going to be done, and then the college is going to go, by the way, you still need to... And you're going to be like... I hope that doesn't happen. I've seen that happen a few times. All right, so fighting cock with some water. I went to the dentist today. My teeth are a little bit sensitive to the fighting cock. That was cold, and I felt that like through all my choppers. But again, the good news is that it held up. It tastes fine. It actually tastes better on ice than it did on water. Even though you're muting the flavors just a little bit, it's actually pretty decent. Trying to keep it off my teeth. You can make your own jokes there. It's there. How do you not do it? I wonder what it would be like to be on the bottling line. You know, or the Rick House where this is stored at Heaven Hill. I just wonder what that would be like. I mean, the jokes have got to fly, right? Do you think they'd be sick of it by now, that it doesn't even matter anymore, that it's not funny anymore? No, I don't think that's possible. I think it'll be funny forever. Because they're going to have new blood, and they're going to mess with the new blood that comes in. These are just some things you... Never mind. Okay, so that was Fighting Cock. Actually a pretty decent pour. If you find this somewhere, I can tell you that it's worth buying. It's not expensive. It holds up. It's got a nice flavor to it. It's not awful. And which is the point of this month, is to find those pours that we think are going to be awful. And we hope that we're going to be surprised by them and that they won't be awful. And that's the case of this one. Pretty good, actually, for what it is. It's pretty good. And the high proof helps it. What did we say, 53? Yeah, 103 proof. 103 proof. So, yeah, it's up there a little bit. It's pretty tasty, actually, all things considered. So next week we're going to be doing one. I don't have it. I looked to see if I had one. I thought I did, but I don't. And it's one, I confess, I've had before. And that is Bib and Tucker. Bib and Tucker is one that I was told either you like it or you hate it. And I remember how I felt about it at the time, but that's been a number of years ago, and it's time to revisit Bib and Tucker. Now, they've got a couple different bottles out now. One of them's a little more expensive. It's, I think, a double oaked or something like that. We're not going to do that one. We're going to do the standard fare Bib and Tucker, and that's going to be next week as we continue to explore bottles that we think aren't going to be very good. I remember not loving the Bib and Tucker. I remember it had some very specific flavor pieces that I got a hold of that I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. And again, it's been a number of years, so it'll be like I've never had it before. That's what I'm telling myself. So that'll be next week on Beautiful Bourbon. Thank you for checking us out. You could be anywhere else, especially when we're a little bit late on the show. So thank you for coming back and for checking it out. We'll be here on time next Thursday, 7 o'clock. And we'll be doing the Bib and Tucker. Thank you for being here. We are also on YouTube. This will be re-released tomorrow on YouTube. And you chat out all over again, share it, all sorts of good stuff. So that'll be tomorrow. And I thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Where's the button? There's the button. There, you got the button!